Hello, hello. I will stop the music now. It's time for us to get into our match. We have Ewok Jr. versus Astron. Both players playing some very interesting decks here today. So we'll show them off. We'll start off with Astron, what he's playing. He is playing a Vietnamese deck. Just another Vietnamese deck. This is Cook. This is the deck that he used to get top 4 in Archon Worlds this past year. Very, very good Beanstalk tempo list. You have a lot of answers, big board presence in the Brobnar. Obviously, Beanstalk being the quintessential piece there. Double Blunder Boar. You have a Crim Torch Tooth Lifting Buddy. That are your giants. Has a Cacophonous Riot. Has a down to size with a very well placed damage pip. Recklessness can be very disruptive here, as well as a Smith to get some amber. Unfathomable, we have Open the Seals with the Giant Fish. Double Tangamangi to help tax those keys, as well as a Catch and Release to wipe any potential boards that may be festering on the other side of the table. The Untamed also has a very important card here, which is Waste Knot. Waste Knot combined with Thing from the Deep is a 15 card draw. So drawing 15 cards off of just one creature is pretty solid. Also has a Ghost Tree in-house too. That can cause some problems. Getting a Pent Seed, you have Till the Earth. But there's only so much I can talk about Cook without talking about the opponent's deck, Ewoks. He's playing a Kovan. This is a Amber Skies combo list. The aim of this deck is to cycle Junk Restorations to get to a Ghoul Keeping Echo Fly Rule 6. Also has a Geistoid Vapor Imp as well as a Geistoid Arise. The Geistoid Arise to bring back all the Geistoid to do the combo stuff in one turn. Skyborn has a good amount of steel, good amount of Amber generation too. Most notably, though, is the lack of creature or artifact control on the side of Ewok. Only 6.6 creature control. You see cards like Infinity Strop and Ecstasy Siphon taking up most of those. There is a all hands on deck to potentially kill a fish, but this could pose a very scary time for Ewok if he is unable to answer the boards that Astron is about to put on. I'm just getting into the match here, and we are good to go. So the main takeaway for this game is basically whoever's going to be able to get board presence or combo down first. For Astron, obviously he's going to want to get his Beanstalks early. He wants to get his big Brobnar cards early. Thing from the Deep coming down. He wants to see a lot of those. On the side of Ewok, he wants to see early Junk Restorations. He wants to find that Ghoul Keeping, wants to find the Echo Fly to start Rule 6ing, to just overrun Astron with Amber. So we'll see what happens. A lot of the luck of the draw. But that's always Keyforge, you know? There's only so much you can control with the draws. Astron's going to start on the play, goes Untamed with the start of the Fangtooth Cavern here. That may pose a threat for the combo turns later down the line. Ewok's going to go Clipped Wings. Chooses to Purge. It's going to Purge Cacophonous Riot. That is a huge hit. Shadow of Disc going to discard Colonel Slime and Veil of Ectoplasm to blank Astron's text boxes on his creatures, so no enter the battlefield triggers. Venomoth also seen discarded. Lifting Buddy coming down on the side of Astron is going to not have the playability, so cannot buff any of the giants. We also see Ornar Skulkface coming down, but immediately killed off by the Fangtooth Cavern. Ewok's going right back into Disc. We see Library of the Damned. We see an Ecstasy Siphon that's going to take care of that Lifting Buddy. And the Arise also discarded here. Just the regular Arise. Astron immediately going to go back into Brobnar, seeing that Siphon is gone. Flumph and Tangimangi discarded. Yo Mama Mastery to also discard the Spooky Charge. and then immediately dies to the Fangtooth Cavern. JR is going to immediately call into Skyborn here. See, against all flags here, steals an Amber from Astron. His second against all flags coming down here is going to discard Raiding Party to steal that last Amber. Bosun Kreen discarded, and that's check for first key. Astron immediately going back into Ravnar again. Down the size, Smith to gain some Amber. Crim Torchtooth will die to the Fangtooth as well. Ewok is going to forge his first key. That does go unchecked. Call Skyborn again. See, Bomberang here played for the Amber Pip. Silver Linings also played for the Amber Pip. And Qatar discarded. Potentially playing around Beanstalk lines that could throw him off. Astron's going to go into Untamed here. Cauldron's going to come down. A little... would have liked to see that earlier for him, but any card is a good card here. And we see Astron taking a little bit of time. Gonna play Learning Hydra, discards his Catch and Release, Till the Earths to wipe both discardeds immediately, and then plays the other Learning Hydra and kills off one of them for the Fangtooth. Yeah, very quick early key coming out from Ewok, so already putting on the pace a little bit, but the discard being wiped can prove to be pretty costly if JR doesn't have combo. Goes into Geistoid, plays Junk Restoration. Buck's Bastion discarding to exalt the Learning Hydra. It's going to discard the Geistoid Arise, Against All Flags, and Colonel Slime. So we'll see if he decides to take any of these cards back. He's going to choose to take the Against All Flags here. Wanting to get that sustained steal going. Buck's Bastion also discarded the Exalt the Hydra once again. Has 2 Ambers sitting on that Hydra. Vapor Imp here seen discarded. Harvest Skimmer seen discarded. And that's a pass of the turn. Presumably not planning on going for the Vapor Imp lines here. Doesn't want to play anything into a potential Blunderbore. Astron immediately going to call back into Untamed here. Reaps with the Hydra. Gains the Amber. Cauldron's going to grab a Catch and Release, which is not as ideal. Reclaimed by Nature will purge the Library of the Damned. Lost in the Wilds will take care of the Blurnian Hydra. Gives the Ewok 2 Amber. Ghost Tree is going to discard Kiri Gilt Spine. And then we see the Fangtooth Cavern killing off the Ghost Tree as there are no other creatures. The Fangtooth Cavern is keeping the board cleared up for Ewok here, which... can prove to be beneficial. Ewok obviously not playing into any creatures here. We also do see Astron is on check for his first key at 9 Amber. Against all flags played, discards the Veil of Ectoplasm here. Just that card for the turn. Puts him on check immediately for 7 Amber. And we see the Beanstalk now. Beanstalk coming down. Blunderboars here. We see Recklessness here as well, discarding Echo Fly, Infinity Strop, and Ecstasy Siphon. That's 2 huge board control options that are gone for the side of Ewok. But we do see the Fangtooth Cavern is going to kill off the Blunderbore. It will not stick. Ewok is going to forge his second key of the game here. And Astron is on check for 8 Amber. Ewok forging his blue key. Now he's in a tough spot because the Echo Fly is now gone. He does not have the Rule 6 available to him anymore if he does have Ghoul Keeping in hand. That was a very huge recklessness. And we'll see what he does decide here. He's taking some time here to think. Does call back into Skyborn. We'll see what he decides to do. He's going to play the Pirate Champion here. 6 powers, pretty safe from Blunderboars coming in. Raiding Party also coming down here. Against all flags, the Steel 2 Amber, which is very huge. Qatar coming down, captures 1, which will take Astron off of check, discarding away a Clipped Wings and passing the turn over. Astron's immediately going to go into Unfathomable here. Plays Arcane Transmitter, open the seals, bunch of Amber Pips coming down. We see the Cauldron here popped, which will be Catch and Release, Ornar Skullface, and open the seal. Presumably, we will see the Catch and Release played first. It's going to bounce everything to hand. And he's going to discard Junk Restoration, All Hands on Deck, and Raiding Party. Presumably, he did play the creatures to get the steal off of Astron, so he could get him off of check. Astron back on check again with 10 Amber here. He does have 2 of the creatures back in hand. The Qatar is back, as well as the Pirate Champion. But the Raiding Party did get discarded. JR immediately going to call into Geistoid here. Plays a Junk Restoration. It's going to discard Titan Apparition, Boomerang, and Mindfire here. We'll see if he does decide to bring any of these back. He does not choose to bring any of those back. Let's see, does he have his Veil of Ectoplasm available to him? He does not. Gonna just play Ghoul Keeping for the Amber Pip and puts him on check immediately. So no board presence. Astron is going to play the Waste Not for 2 Ambers, going to Spooky Charge for the key. So that'll be the win going to Astron here at the end. So that'll be 1-0. Let me make sure I get this game log. Set 10 minutes, quick one. It is a quick one. So we will see once they rematch. Yeah, very quick game there. Both players playing pretty fast. Ewok shedding his mantra of slow walk slow. And the rematch happens. So we'll see who decides to go first here. Ewok going to choose to go first. And we'll see what comes down. Ewok not able to get to a very quick cycling start. That recklessness was very crucial. And they are off to the races. Ewok is going to take a mulligan here. Astron did not mulligan. With Kovan, tends to want to mulligan more aggressively, try to find into the Junk Restorations. Is just going to discard a Colonel Slime and pass the turnover. Astron going to call Untamed, plays the Reclaimed for 2 Amber Pips, discards Till the Earth, but is looking like it's going to manual mode that, potentially to play it instead. Discards Spooky Charge and then tills. In terms of players who wants to go first, Kovan does want to go first. Want to get cycling as soon as possible, and being on the play allows you to do that a little bit more efficiently. Plus, I think Cook is a better deck on turn 1 compared to Kovan. It's harder to answer a Cook turn 1. So JR has made, I would say, the correct call in going first. Ewok's going to immediately go into Skyborn. It's going to discard the Bosun Kreen, plays an Against All Flag to steal an Amber, and then discards a Buck's Bastion. Early Beanstalk here coming down, turn 2. Crim Torch Tooth and the Blunderboar to reap twice. Cacophonous Riot to reap a couple more times, and that's check on turn 2 with a very early Beanstalk. Now we'll see how Ewok can respond to that. Ewok going to Call House Dis here. Let's see what he does decide, if he has his creature control answers available to him. Ecstasy Siphon coming down here. We'll see if he decides to kill off just the Blunderboar or set up the Infinity Strop. Looks like he is attempting to set up an Infinity Strop here. He's going to put that Blunderboar down to 1 health here. Kills off the Crim Torch Tooth. Also gains 2 Amber from that play. We'll see what else he has answers. This Dust Imp scene discarded. Searine scene discarded. I think playing the Dust Imp and then discarding the Searine would have been beneficial. That's 2 Amber for free. Waste not coming down here on the Untamed turn. Gonna draw 3 cards off the Blunderboar. Blurnian Hydra played. Sees a discard of the Guilt Spine and another Blurnian Hydra, or a Guilt Spine and a Gatewatcher, and then a Flumph coming down as well. Building up that board presence, setting up something. Junk Restoration coming in here. It's going to discard Qatar. It sees Wellstring, All Hands on Deck, and Harvest Skimmer. Going to grab the All Hands on Deck. All Hands on Deck here being a very quintessential piece of creature control. Second Junk Restoration coming in here. This one has the damage pip. Will damage the Flumph, and we see Pirate Champion, Venomoth, and Shadow of Dis here discarded off that junk. And decides not to take any of those back. See discarding of the Colonel Slime. See All Hands on Deck here, just killing off the Hydra, getting that cleared off the board. And Ewok is at check for 6 Amber. Astron gonna immediately go back into Brobnar here. Uses Beanstalk here. Searching for a giant, grabbing Blunderboar. Plays the Blunderboar, discarding Thing from the Deep and the Open the Seal. Playing a Skullface, damages itself. Old Boomy coming down too. Smith to gain a bunch of Amber. And Astron is on check for 2nd key at 7 Amber. See, Ewok's going to forge his first key here. Immediately calls into Skyborn. Bomberang here is going to take care of that Flumph. Deals 3 damage to that. Presumably here to set up an Against All Flags. Raiding Party sees discarded. Against All Flags here coming down. Has a discard pip here, so he's going to discard something for that. JR kind of deciding here what he wants to throw away. It's going to discard in Arise, just the regular Arise here. Steals 2 Amber. That does get Astron off of check. And that is going to see the turn shift back over to Astron, who's going to call Untamed. We see Nepenthe Seed, Cauldron, Fangtooth Cavern here, discarding an Echo Guardian, and that will destroy the Old Boomy. Astron on check for 7 Amber, 2nd key. And JR now in the front seat. Let's see what he does decide to do. A lot of options for him. Most of the junk restorations have been played, but he is sitting on quite a few Geistoid cards. We see a 1-sec coming out. Ewok thinking about what he wants to do this turn. Notably, the combo is either in hand or in deck. So that is something that Ewok does need to consider potentially playing into. Now we do see the Nepenthe Seed coming down that could cause some problems with the Cacophonous Riot, so JR might be considering that potential line coming out. So we'll see what he ends up deciding. Astron is in the driver's seat here, threatening that second key. Most of the deck is going to still be Untamed and Unfathomable. See a lot of the Brodnar coming down early. JR is going to call Geistoid here. We do see the Echo Fly and the Ghoul Keeping, which is a rule of 6. We'll make sure that we'll see if he does keep track of that, which presumably he would. If you do not know the combo, Ghoul Echo Fly has action, return an action card from your discard pile to your hand. Ghoul Keeping readies a friendly Geistoid creature. So this will be 5 amber minimum, depending on how much he uses it and what he wants to use the last use of Echo Fly on. Gonna keep returning that Ghoul Keeping, play that Ghoul Keeping. We have currently 4 uses on the Echo Fly here. Presumably we'll see the 5th use coming out. It's going to grab the Ghoul Keeping again. Plays it on the Echo Fly, and then we should see the last use of the Echo Fly coming out. We'll see what he does end up grabbing. We see Junk Restoration coming down here as the pickup. Echo Fly obviously cannot be used any more times, so grabbing Ghoul Keeping there does not make much sense. Junk Restoration played here. See he grabbed the discard pip one. We'll discard Library of the Damned. We see Pirate Champion, Veil of Ectoplasm, and Harvest Skimmer. Veil of Ectoplasm coming out here. That being played will prevent the second key being forged on the side of Astron. And we see a full 7 amber captured here onto the Echo Fly. Obviously, that Echo Fly will not last long. There is a Fangtooth Cavern on play, as well as a Blunderbore that will presumably eat that Echo Fly up. So Ewok getting 10 amber here on his turn. Originally started this turn with 4 amber. So burst of 6, as well as taking Astron off a check. Ewok's still thinking about what he wants to finish his turn off with, if he does want to do anything else this turn. And we see the Arise also discarded here, the one with the Geistoid Pip. Astron is going to call Unfoundable here. We see Arcane Transmitter played. Double Tonkamangi here is going to hold JR off of check. But that is a very dangerous prospect on board for Astron. Ewok 10 amber cannot forge because of the double Tonkamangi. So we will see what he decides to do here. Ewok going to call into House Dis here. Clipped Wings here is going to purge a Ghost Tree out of the hand of Astron. We see Mindfire here, discarding it, open the seal, steals 1 amber here. And we'll see if he has one more discard that he can play. He has the Vapor Imp. He does flip. Astron is going to forge his second key of the game. But at the moment, Ewok is sitting on 12 amber with not many easy ways to check off. Reclaim My Nature is going to purge the Arcane Transmitter, which will be 4 amber in general total. Blernian Hydra is going to be played, down to size discarded. Nepenthe Seed, grabbing the Waste Knot, looking for the spooky charge. And we'll see if he drew it off of this Blernian Hydra. He did not draw it off the Blernian Hydra. Astron is on check for last key, so this is going to be a very desperation play here, having to come out from Ewok. Ewok does forge his second key, but he will need to have potential for Freedom to Be to come down. Astron mentioning the Ghost Tree Purge, preventing the wind from happening that turn. So Ewok has to have potentially an Against All Flags as well as some Skyborn creatures. He can Cheat Sheet if he has the option available to him. If he did redraw the Freedom to Bees and the All Hands or Against All Flags. Looks like Ewok is counting to see if he does have the Cheat Sheet that is able to be played. No, with Freedom to Be gets its key cost reduced if you have Skyborn creatures on flank. See the Buck's Bastion here. See a Silver Linings to gain an amber. We see the Freedom to Be, which does not fire off because there's only 1 Skyborn creature on a flank. So it looks like Astron is going to win the game here. Very close set of 2 games here. Very quick set of 2 games. But Ewok just not having the last Skyborn creature here. So that was a very, very good set of games here coming out from both players. Sad to see that Ewok lost, but that 2 missed amber could prove to be very costly, unfortunately for Ewok. All right, well, Astron going to move on to round 2. Astron will face the winner of Unfathomable versus Katmaro. They play tonight at 8 p.m. Central. So if you are available for that match, go ahead, tune in. Thank you all for stopping